Okay. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started with the introductions. I know that there's probably going to be some more people joining us, but I will go ahead and introduce myself. I'm Ronnie Holder-Diefenbach. I'm the Executive Director for the Economic Alliance. We're the economic development organization designated by the Okanogan County Commissioners. Jump on in.
Good morning, this is Lou Blakeney.
Hi,
This is Lou, Small Business Development Center Advisor.
Welcome.
Thank you.
This is Christy O'Neill with the Okanogan County WorkSource.
Hi, Christy.
This is Maria Lasala with OMAC Chamber and OMAC Mirage Theaters.
Jesus Hernandez, CEO at Family Health Centers.
This is Michelle Fox. I am the Executive Director at the Community Cultural Center in Tenasket, and also here for Old.
Welcome. I know there's other people on the phone.
And this is Tyson Reardon. I'm in from Doghouse Restaurant in Okanogan.
I think some people are still on mute. I see Dawn.
Yeah, I was on mute. Sorry. This is Dawn from TwistWorks. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Hi, Ronnie. It's Chris from DSHS.
Hi, Chris. Welcome.
Thanks.
Do we have Jen or Julie on the phone yet?
I can update on Julie's behalf.
Okay.
Doesn't make it.
They both emailed me this morning with information, wanted me to resend them the Zoom contact information, so I went ahead and did that. Is there anybody else that hasn't introduced themselves that are on the line?
This is Cheryl from Central Washington Home Builders Association.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, we will go ahead and get started. I think that this might be Maurice. Hold on just a second, calling my phone. Economic. Okay. It didn't pick up. Oops. All right, well, we will go ahead and get started. And if some of the individuals, everybody's been busy, and I know that there's multiple meetings happening at the same time. We went ahead and pulled people together in the business community who offer resources to the businesses. And we decided that we needed to approach this head on and start having discussions as soon as the governor came out with his, basically with this declaration of shutting down a lot of the different businesses. So we pulled together all of our resources and decided to put this conference call, this business roundtable, to start the discussion of what services are available so that all of our local businesses know what their options are. As we've mentioned before, this is every day there's new things that are coming out. So we're planning on having this this virtual roundtable discussion on a weekly basis. We want to have this, have a consistent meeting every Friday at 8:30 if possible, to continue to provide the businesses with information that can help you as we go through this, unprecedented time of shut down, slow down, you know, and we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, but until then we can bring what resources we have to the table. We've got several different organizations and businesses who will be talking about different state and federal programs that are out there. So I want to go ahead and give them that opportunity to provide some information. And then at the end, please hold your questions toward to the end of the meeting. And then we'll be able to try to answer them. And whatever questions that we cannot answer, we'll make sure that we take them back to the state and try to get some answers for you. I will be providing updates on our economicalliance.com website. We have a COVID-19 business research source page. It has all of the, every time I get an update, I'm going to that Facebook or that website and updating the links so that you have the newest information that's out there. Please use that. And then there's some other programs that will be coming up that I'll talk about before we close the meeting. So is Maurice on the phone?
Yes, I am.
Great. I'm glad that you're on the phone. Can you go ahead and get started with providing just a brief overview of Okanogan County and the response from EMS?
Yes. First of all, Lori Jones, the community health director, is you know, at the lead of this whole situation, and we are following her lead, backing her up on this. For emergency management and health department working together, we have reached out to all of our hospitals and clinics. We're working close with them. We're holding conference calls with quite a few people and discussing where we're going and what we should be doing. I think that you can feel comfort that we're watching out for the public on this case. The tests, we've got several tests out. And people, you know, we have 0 positive right now. Again, we don't want to leave that to be, everybody thinks, you know, we're going to hold at 0. We're hoping that, but we also have to think that maybe we're going to get that positive hit one of these days. And we're really reaching out to people. And I know the businesses are hit very hard, but the diligence that you guys are doing of, you know, letting the public still come to the stores, but limiting the amount of people that are in there. And also, it doesn't take just one time of wiping down in the morning first thing. It needs to be a continuous thing. And if you see people gathering up in your stores and whatnot like that, please ask them to separate. And they're going to understand that. The public is really adhering to what's going on. And we all totally understand that it's hardship for everybody. But if we do conduct this social distancing, it's going to work, and it's going to slow it down. Not to say that it's going to totally stop it and that we're not going to have a positive here, but it's doing its work right now with that. And I'd have to say that our community, I've been around the county, and people are adhering to it. And so I guess push that with the public and do your part. And I just got off the radio speaking with Lori, you know, talking about people hoarding things and whatnot. You know, be a check to people. Ask them, you know, why they're doing that. Maybe limit people to certain amounts of things. Our supply chain will work. It's just we can't do it when everybody's taking every single item off the shelf. There's no need for that because we're not in that predicament. For emergency management, like I said, we have reached out to every city. All of our law enforcement, we're asking our law enforcement to reach out and come into the businesses and make sure that things are going okay. They're not checking. They're not saying, hey, you're not in compliance. They're wanting to know how you're doing. So please welcome any of those people in there, or, you know, our fire chiefs. That's what we're asking these people to do at a distance. So bear with them. They're not there to check to see if you're doing something wrong. They're there to check to see if you're needing something. One thing that I asked that you can push this out is we are giving information out through our notification system. Most of you probably are on there. You need to sign up for it. It's Okanogan County Alert, and it is you can join by going to okanogandem.org, the emergency management website, and signing up. We are pushing out notifications by text and email at this time. We're not pushing anything out by voice unless it becomes a dire need to have action right now. situation. And so we're pushing information out. Make sure that we're sharing the information on that to our family and friends and customers, and also that we got to watch out for one another, and just make sure that people are on this notification system. I'm kind of jumping around here a little bit, and I apologize for that. It was a big rush getting here to the office because I just got off the radio down the hall. Ronnie, am I missing anything that you want me to touch on?
I don't think so. I think that you covered it. And I think it's, again, just really important that we stress. I found myself, I thought I had signed up for the EMS notifications, and I was like, I missed a meeting because I didn't know that I wasn't on it. And so it's just important that we make sure that we register that and share with as many people so that they can be provided with those updates. Thank you, Maurice. I know you're super busy right now, so thank you for calling in and joining us in this meeting and providing us with an update.
Okay.
All right.
And let me pass on here one more. If
Okay.
anybody has any questions, you can email us with a question. Our address is em@co.okanogan.wa.us. It's all on our webpage. Don't hesitate to email us. It's probably the best way to get to us. Yes, you can call us, but it's best probably just to email us. And also push this, that, you know, if people are sick, you got employees or anything else like that, work it out with them so that they don't have to come to work if they're sick. We all know we have people that will take advantage of that, but you know, it's better off doing it that way than getting somebody sick with this. And if anybody is feeling any of these ailments, you don't just go down to the hospital or go down to the clinic. They're not just going to test you because you want to be tested. You need to go through the screening. That screening starts by making a phone call to the hospital or clinic. Even if it's not these circumstances, if it's some other sickness, make the phone call first so you know how to approach the hospital, because they got their doors closed and they're screening people. So I just wish that, and I wish everybody luck, as I look through the towns, and it's saddening to see what's going on, but we have to do this to make things work, because it will spread. It doesn't spread by itself. We're spreading it. So I know that you're hearing that all the time, but just please keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Maurice. Lou, I'd like to introduce Lou Blakeney, our SBDC advisor, and he's going to give you an update on the SBDC program and the SBA disaster loan program.
Okay, thank you, Ronnie. For those that aren't fully aware, the Small Business Development Center network is all across the Washington state. There's over 24 offices. We provide no charge confidential assistance to business owners or those that want to be in business. We're co-sponsored by the SBA. We're co-sponsored by the Economic Alliance. We are not the SBA, but we have a relationship with them. Again, we're not a lender, but we do provide the no charge confidential assistance. So this morning, I'm just going to touch briefly on the highlights of the financial aspects of the work I've been doing. I work with folks one-on-one, email, phone calls, and all that. News in our arena, the SBA has declared that there's a disaster loan available for this area. It's called the Economic Disaster Injury Loan. You don't have to remember that. Just know that there's a disaster loan program available. You can apply directly to the SBA. They have a link. People can also download forms, fill them out, mail them, or fax them, but I've been told that it's much faster if they'll do it electronically. I'm available to provide one-on-one assistance, but I'm not an expert. I just know that that's a resource available, and I'll work with Ronnie to have links on the resource page for Economic Alliance. That being said, let me just go into quick details. The SBA disaster loan can go up to $2 million. There are some things to be aware of. There has to be applicants need a history acceptable to the SBA. They have to show that they have ability to repay. Collateral will be required on loans over $225,000. However, the SBA quote says they will not decline a loan for lack of collateral. I'm not sure what that means, but that's what they say. Interest rates are 3 3/4% for small businesses with terms up to 30 years. The interesting thing is that in the application, the applicant cannot ask for a certain amount of money for a loan. The way this process works is the applicant submits information, financial information and so on, and then the SBA loan officer reviews and makes an offer. That's negotiable with the loan officer, but it's been confusing to applicants, but that's the way they work. The SBA makes an offer of what they think the cash flow shortfall is. These loans are primarily for helping businesses through a shortfall of cash in the days ahead. They cannot be used for refinancing long-term debt. Farms are not eligible. There probably are some programs through USDA Rural Development or other programs, but the SBA disaster loan is targeted for small businesses. It's not for individuals, such as happened during the wildfire disasters a few years ago. So that being said, the reality is the SBA program, they're being swamped with applicants, according to the presenter I heard this week. Realistically, people are looking at easily 3 weeks or longer before they'll get processed and get funds. So we are urging people to consider more timely actions, such as they need to talk to their existing banker. They could consider going for a line of credit. Washington Federal has come up with a very interesting program. They should contact Washington Federal for a line of credit consideration. Secondly, there are banks that offer a variety of SBA guaranteed loans that they could approach. They can go online and get a list of those through the SBA. And then there are some alternative lending platforms on the internet. I'm not recommending any, but there are other options. So people ought to consider that. And then I want to really emphasize that in small business, they need to manage more than just the actual cash. They need to look at other items that are related to cash, and such as their inventory, such as making negotiations with vendors, with suppliers, even with their own bank, negotiating loan payments or suspension of payments. There are a lot of actions that can be taken. I'm, again, available to assist in talking with them on specific situations. Lastly, I want to make you aware that our organization has put together a webinar called Business Resiliency. Pardon my stumbling here. It's an online webinar that's available. It'll be shown, I think, each day next week. There's also a 25-page free booklet guide that they can look at online or download. And we'll put that resource link on the website there at the Economic Alliance. So that's kind of fast and furious, but basically we're available to try and help people deal with the cash flow crunch. Again, I'm just touching on the financial aspects of it. There are other, of course, important business issues like dealing with customers, looking for alternative ways to bring in revenue, such as delivery or online. There are a lot of employee issues, which I'll defer to WorkSource and those folks. That's a rapid summary of what I have right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. And just for everybody's information, if you want to schedule a meeting with Lou, it's a free confidential service that we offer here for Okanogan County. At this time, we're not meeting in person, but we're doing virtual meetings by phone. But you can still call the Economic Alliance at 509-826-5107 if you want to sit, have that conversation and bounce some ideas off Lou, get some information from him or advice from him on your business situation. Give him a call. He's a great resource. So moving on to hearing from Christy O'Neill and partners. I don't know if Craig's on the phone, but I heard Chris was on the phone to talk about employee employer services for your employees from WorkSource Okanogan and Employment Security and DSHS. Christy?
All right. So just a couple quick updates. For right now, WorkSource offices have temporarily, we're temporarily offering all virtual services. We have closed our doors to the public, but we are manning the phones and answering questions from businesses and job seekers as best we can. As far as employment security is concerned, unemployment insurance is obviously experiencing a tremendous spike in demand for unemployment, and they're doing a lot to address that. So some of those things that they are doing, they put in place a couple emergency rules, one of them being standby. So standby is now available for part-time employees as well as full-time employees, which means that if someone has a probable return to work date within the next 8 weeks, their job search requirements can be waived. So anybody who is possibly returning back to work within the next 8 weeks can qualify for unemployment and not have to do any of the job search requirements, which is, it used to just be for only full-time employees, but they've made it available to part-time employees as well. Governor Inslee also announced the waiver of the 1-week waiting period for unemployment benefits. So in the past, applicants would have to, they would apply for unemployment and then they would have a waiting week and then they would be able to receive their benefit after that. So, and it normally takes about 3 weeks for somebody to actually receive their first check. So they have waived that 1-week waiting period for the UI benefit so that people can get the money in their pocket sooner than later. We are also trying to share as much information as we possibly can about the Shared Work Program. This is a program through the Employment Security Department that provides businesses flexibility to retain employees at reduced hours rather than completely laying them off. So an employer can temporarily reduce an employee's hours 10 to 50%, and qualified workers will receive partial unemployment benefits to replace a portion of those lost wages. So basically, employees receive a paycheck and partial unemployment benefits and retain their fringe benefits. And there is a great video. It's about a 2.5-minute video on www.esd.wa.gov/shared-work. And I was told too that it takes just about less than 1 minute to determine eligibility. So if there are any businesses in the area that are interested in, are thinking that like maybe I need to lay off people, we feel like anybody who feels like they are looking at they have to lay off people, but if it's helpful for them to possibly only have to like partially lay them off and be subsidized in this way, we're advising everybody to call the 800 number for that, and it's 800-752-2500, and I'll send out a link to this information a little bit later, but it's a fantastic program. It's underutilized right now. We think it's probably going to be, there's going to be a bit of a backlog for this, but they're trying to get to those applications as soon as possible. And just a couple of things that ESD is doing as a whole right now to meet the increased demand for unemployment. We are hiring over 100 new staff for the unemployment insurance program, all with remote and virtual work options. They're extending their hours to 7 days a week and for extra hours each day. They'll be reassigning staff from other parts of the agency to provide more customer service. Staff within our office are going to be possibly reassigned to do unemployment insurance directly for customers. And there is going to be a new toll-free number available to answer general questions from the public. So I think that is what I have for you right now. I was also told this morning that one of the best websites for businesses to be looking at is www.business.wa.gov. It has a lot of resources specifically related to COVID-19 business resources for the state, and coronavirus.wa.gov, of course.
Christy?
And that's what I got. Yeah.
I've heard over the last couple of days that there has been people who have applied for unemployment and have got, due to the COVID-19, and they have been immediately denied. Do you know anything about that, or can you offer any suggestions regarding that?
So are you hearing that they are denied unemployment, or are they denied possibly standby? I think there's a lot of confusion out there.
Yeah.
What I've been hearing is that right now people are having a really hard time getting through to unemployment if they're trying to apply over the phone. The best bet for anyone is to apply online. And if they're unable to do that, then they can try getting through over the phone. But this is definitely something that our agency was not prepared for staffing wise. So they're trying to ramp that up as quickly as possible. But what the agency is trying to do is make it as accessible for people as possible. But there are still, oh, go ahead.
Can I just share a specific example? Ronnie, maybe this is the one you're referring to. So,
I was just, the reason why I brought it up was just because I know that I had gotten some clarification back that there had been people applying and immediately getting declined or denied the unemployment. And there was an email that had went out that said there was an error and that the individuals would be getting notified or getting a call from the unemployment office because the system hadn't switched over to the new rules, that they had went ahead and wanted people to know that, you know, just because you're denied right now, that you should still be able to be eligible for the program. So they were going to be expecting a new phone call. I
think that's related to standby. So a lot of people were applying for unemployment and requesting standby, and the system has not had the opportunity to update the new rules, the emergency rules that have been put in place related to standby. So when somebody's applying for unemployment and they request standby, which means that I don't have to do any of those job search requirements, they were getting an automatic denial.
Right.
And what the information that we're trying to share with people is that every one of those people will be receiving a call, and that unemployment agents are reviewing all of those applications, and they have put in a where is it? Yeah, so the change was not yet built into their software, and many people were receiving automated denial letters. They've implemented a manual workaround to accommodate those individuals and are reaching out to those customers to let them know whether they are eligible.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
That's great.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, and
Sorry
also, and just one thing, no, and Don, did you have a question?
No, that helps a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, so if anybody, just to, as much as we can get that information out there, if people have been requesting standby and are getting denied, they will receive a call. And the other thing that we're running into that's been a real struggle is that the one rule that has not changed for right now is that a worker does have to have worked 680 hours within their base year in order to qualify for unemployment. We have a lot of substitute teachers that I've been receiving calls from that I have one person who worked 677.5 hours.
Oh my God.
And yes, and she does not qualify. And there's nothing that we can do about that at this time. And it's not something that we at the WorkSource level could do anyway. So all I'm able to do is provide the information that is on the esd.wa.gov website. But that is the deal. So and that 680 hours is based off of a person's base year. So the 680 hours had to have been worked between October of 2018 to September of 2019, or they can use an alternative base year, which would be all of 2019. I was talking to somebody and I was like, well, maybe you could just use, you know, if they could keep you on, like for this particular person, I was like, well, maybe they could keep you on for an extra day and then you would get to your 680 hours. But I was very incorrect with that information because any hours in 2020 wouldn't count towards that base year anyway.
Christy, I have a quick question. Can that be a combination of hours from multiple jobs? There's a question in the Zoom.
Yeah.
It can be. So Missy and Michelle, I think you can put together hours from multiple jobs to qualify for that minimum 680.
Yes, that is true.
Chris, did you have a brief update from DSHS?
Hi, Ronnie. Yeah, I won't take much time. We have tried to keep our doors open because the people that are getting laid off need food. But as of today, we've gone to extremely limited lobby services. So our office will be open from 8 to 5, but only to issue EBT cards and support service vouchers and gas cards. All of our TANF, which is your Work First program, or otherwise known as welfare, all sanctions have been lifted, and we won't be doing that. So folks don't have to, worry about trying to go to work when their workplace is closed. All of our services are available via the telephone for our customer service contact center. And so someone can apply for benefits over the phone and receive an EBT card by coming into the office after that's approved. And so we can get them services that way. One of the things that's come up, and especially for Okanogan County, is there's still a lot of people who don't have telephones. And I think that some of us providers need to get together and try and figure out what a solution is for that, because right now that's the only way someone can apply. And the phones are going to be busy with long wait times. We're in the process of moving all of our community service office workers onto the telephones, but it's a complicated system. It'll probably take us another week to get that done. And that is our report.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you joining us today. Don, you're up with Twist Works.
Yeah, thanks, Ronnie. Yeah, thanks for pulling this all together, and thanks everyone for kind of coming together at this time and working together. So just a few updates on what we're trying to do in the immediate area in the Methow. So TwistWorks sent out a communication on Monday to the community just to provide sort of a summary of all the links. I think we're all getting overwhelmed with links and trying to minimize that. Ronnie provided a great template, and we kind of shifted that down and provided just a few links. We also have a new email alias, businesssupport@twistworks.org, that we're encouraging businesses to use to get a hold of us, sort of as, since we're not in the office, an entry point in for conversations where businesses are looking for ideas, looking for resources. We have been working with the chambers. Ronnie, partly off of your lead, the list of businesses that are offering takeout and pickup services, that kind of thing. So our Twist WA chamber site now has a complete list of all the businesses that are open and what services they're providing, so that we can continue to promote them. That does include Twist chamber members, Winthrop chamber members, and then also Twist, Winthrop, and Mazama non-members that have communicated with us. So we're trying to keep commerce going from that perspective. Looking forward to hearing from Jen next about how we can help with the Show Wa Love program. We are working on a plan that we hope to implement starting Monday, where we will literally reach out via phone or email to every business in the Methow, just to check in, to make them aware that we're a resource. And one of the tools that we've started using is the SBA economic injury worksheet. So Lou, thanks for your help there. Just to help businesses understand what kind of information would they need to have ready if they're going to ask for any kind of assistance or support, whether it's a loan or whether it's a grant, that kind of thing. And then just trying to do as much training as we can to kind of ramp up our skill set. One thing I will mention, I did talk with someone at Department of Commerce, and I think the general theme was state funds will be very limited, but relatively quick to appear. Federal funds will be larger and maybe slower to appear. and that, you know, as much creativity as we can come up with in our own communities to help out is probably the best thing we can do right now. So, and I don't know if Julie's on the call. Julie, did I miss anything? Yeah, I don't know if she's here. We had already been planning to do a comprehensive study of the Methow Valley economy with a survey to employers and employees this year. We had that survey ready to implement next week. And so now we're making some adjustments to that, obviously, to lead with the COVID questions and to use that opportunity to connect with our businesses. So thanks again for all the resources and support, everyone.
Okay, Jen, are you on the line? I am not hearing her. I sent her the contact a little bit before this meeting started. So if she joins us, then we'll go ahead and hear hopefully from her on the Okanogan County Tourism Council and from the Washington Tourism Alliance. Cheryl, do you want to go ahead and we'll move you up?
Yeah, just a quick update from us. Any of the information that we've been talking about already and additional links that apply directly to construction work is on our website. And I thank you. You've listed that on your website too, so you can go to cwhba.org. We have a coronavirus update response link. And a couple of the things that we've been doing is trying to reach out to all of the jurisdictions within our territory, which actually reaches from the Canadian border to the Oregon border, to find out if their permitting and inspection offices are still functioning and at what hours and what restrictions. And as we get updates on those, we are updating our website. So if you are doing work in obviously Okanogan County or any other county or jurisdiction, you can go and take a look at our website for that. We are also starting to have conversations about if we're going to be doing a mask drive. I know Okanogan County probably doesn't need them at your hospitals right now, but Chelan County is starting to get low, so there may be a call out, and probably on the call next week, I will be asking everyone who has masks, contractors or not, to donate them. So that may be coming up. So that's just my quick update for now. If anybody has any questions about what our organization is doing or working on, please feel free to reach out. We are also working at the state and national level for HUD housing. You probably heard about that yesterday, where there are no evictions allowed for any HUD housing for the next 30 days. Governor Inslee also requested that here, or requires that here in the state. So that's something we're working on. And also, if we go to a statewide quarantine, that construction and contract workers are not included in that, because it is an essential work that we need to be doing. We need to be fixing and replacing water heaters and getting drywall done so that people can move into their houses, and fixing electrical work. So we're really working hard to make sure that our construction trades are excluded from that quarantine if it does come down to it. So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out.
Okay, so Jen is on and she is somehow muted. So I am going to unmute.
Oh, good. I'm unmuted.
Yay! Sorry.
Oh, thank God. Okay, and Julie's here too. She texted me. She's here too, but the same thing. So I'm thinking that the system might automatically mute people who are calling in possibly. And then, anyways, thank you. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad we're all here. Yeah, so with Okanogan County Tourism Council, we are working on doing what we can to help people, encourage them to get outside and enjoy the fresh air and the sunshine in a safe way. This week's weekly email is about the bluebirds coming back. And then I just got a great resource from the Washington Trails Association yesterday afternoon that we're going to be sharing out. And it's basically how to hike safely in this time. And it talks about avoiding things like carpooling and you know, and knowing that most of the restrooms may be closed. And it's just got some great information about some of the issues you might come up with that you wouldn't necessarily expect in this time if you're trying to get out and recreate in the great outdoors. So I'll be sharing that out with everyone and on our social media channels. And then with the Washington Tourism Association, we have a password protected at this very moment. We got it up about 11 o'clock last night. It's showwildlove.com, and the password is wildlove. I'll send a link out that, Ronnie, we can send to everyone. We are going to be accepting listings today. I will try to get a spreadsheet together, but you can go ahead and just send me business listings as well. I'll have my team just working on putting them in manually as we're working on getting the data import set up. You'll be able to search by region or by type of business and just search for a business, and it's going to be promoting, trying to support people by buying a gift card online, or if they have some online purchases, like say coffee that you can order online and have shipped to you. And then we'll also include, at this point in time, we're going to be including the restaurants that have takeout. The hospitality industry is also setting up a website, and so we're going to be working with them so we don't overlap too much. But I don't know that their one is set up as quickly yet. So I will be working with them on that. So yeah, I'll make it available, and you guys can send me information. And actually, anyone who is a DMO or a chamber leader, I will get you an admin access so you can go ahead and put listings in yourself. So if that's not ready today, it'll definitely be ready on Monday.
And I can post that on our the Economic Alliance resource site, and then have the information so people can go click on it, add their information, or access that site. And it's all businesses who are currently open.
They don't have to be open. I mean, it could be a business that's closed. Like, just say that there's a restaurant that you love that's really shut down for 2 months. You can just buy a gift certificate so they get some cash in hand, and you can go visit them in August or September or whenever, right? So it's, you know, really it's anybody who is open for, you know, so at some point in the future as well.
Okay. Cheryl, did I cut you off when you were doing your presentation? I apologize if I did. I just got a text from somebody. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, I just, no, I was just, my last comment was if anybody has any questions or about what we're doing, just reach out. That was it.
Okay, thank you. And again, I apologize if I did that.
Not at all. You didn't at all.
Okay. And Jen, that's going to be a great resource, I think, that will help a lot of our local businesses, and will, especially those who have products that they can sell online or be able to ship out to people out in our area. Moving on to Okanogan County Community Action. Is Lael on the phone? And I'm trying to look for numbers because for some reason, the system has muted people. I've not muted anybody, so it doesn't look.
So to come off a mute, when you come off mute, them, they need to push *6.
*6 to come off mute.
Yes, for them.
Okay, thank you very much. So it doesn't sound like Lael is here. I will go ahead and just provide a few more things, and then we'll go into a question and answer. The governor recently came out and has set aside some of his governor's strategic reserve funds for microloans for small businesses, and that's going to be ran through the Department of Commerce, and I'm in the process of finding out more information about that. But those loans will be directly to small businesses, and they've not determined or developed the criteria and the application process yet. So I'll be working with them to find out more about that. As Dawn has mentioned before about the economic impact sheets that we're asking businesses to complete. I know right now it's, you know, again, this is an initial response because we know that we don't know all of the impacts that are going on right now or what it's going to be in the end. But we do need to have those forms filled out and submitted so that we can help you as you move forward, applying for funding, if, trying to identify the different resources that are going to be available to you as they come down. It's important that we have that story to tell of what it is doing to the business community. Those economic impact sheets are available to be filled out on the Economic Alliance website. As both I think Dawn and Lou mentioned before, I think we cannot stress the importance of you have relationships with your local banks. Before you go and apply to SBA and to some of these other funding loan opportunities, go talk to your bank, and they're developing programs right now at the local, at your local banks to try to help and work with small businesses and residents that are being impacted by the COVID-19 virus. A lot of the larger banks right now, Bank of America, there's been other banks that have that are now implementing programs where they're deferring business loans, mortgages. It's your job as a business person and as a resident to advocate for yourself. Pick up the phone, call them, see if they're offering any of those programs. Some of those overhead costs can help offset some of the cash flow issues until this thing, hopefully will start, once business starts getting back to normal. And at this time, unfortunately, we don't know when that's going to be. But having those conversations up front with your lenders and with your whoever you've got your credit card companies with, they're also doing the same thing. There's a lot of the different banks that are deferring credit card payments, utility payments. Talk to your PUD, your local, your cities, who you pay utilities to. They're right in the process right now, and things are coming out every day on how they're working with our local businesses and our residents. For your, when you're talking to your employees and they're worried about reduced hours and they're worried about, what's going to happen if I get laid off and I don't get unemployment for a couple weeks or whatever, and I still have bills that I have to pay, refer them to the Department of Financial Institution Resources, which is again another link that we have on our Facebook page or on our website that steps the residents through the process of what they can do to try to help get through this time period. And then the Economic Alliance, if you have businesses in your area that are staying open, that are doing takeout, curbside service, deliveries, let me know. It's on my Okanogan County Economic Alliance Facebook page, as well as I'm posting it on our website, so people can go to that and know what businesses in all of the different communities within the county are open, so that we can continue to promote commerce in a responsible way by visiting those businesses and continuing to support them. We have seen, unfortunately, some of our local businesses and restaurants have shut their doors temporarily just because at this time they feel like that's going to be the best thing for them. So these resources that we that presented here today, make sure that you have these local contacts. On our website, I'm putting all of their websites, all of their contact information, so that you have the access to be able to pick up the phone and have somebody, and to be able to talk to somebody directly. Again, none of us are meeting, face to face because of this virus and the social distancing that is being required, but we're a phone call away. We've got a group of business people who are volunteering to help people fill out their SBA disaster loan applications, if that's where you are looking at going, as well as looking at different types of applications that need to be filled out. So, we have a wealth of information in this county that can help provide services, as well as your local chambers of commerces. This is a moving target. Nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. Yesterday, we all are dealing with the fact that, we hear on the news today that, California would shut down. Governor shut down the state. Our governor on 2 days ago said that that's not where he's at. But it's, a lot of the businesses are already impacted by the social distancing requirements that came out on Monday. I just want to share with you before we go into the question and answer, our website, if I can open it, control. If it will open. We have put together a COVID-19 response resource page. It has 3 local things that businesses can do right now. Our Okanogan County businesses offering takeout and delivery, the disaster declaration, and then the economic injury website, our worksheet, and then as well as all of our local businesses that came in and did presentations today, and their most current email, our websites that you can contact, as well as some of our tribal resources as well. We have the U.S. federal, all of the different SBA programs. You know, IRS is extending the tax filing date. There's some different programs with the export assistance if you export any products, all of the state resources, as well as the information on excise tax filing assistance. This is something that, you know, there's different programs that are coming down at the state level where they're extending programs and offering assistance. There's some shared work program that Christy talked about. We have the Washington Federal 5-year business line of credit with 90 days interest free. That was a program that Lou talked about. We have a branch here in OMAC people can talk to if that's something that you're interested in. And then the other SBA loans that are also available, the Express Loan Cap Lines, Export Express Loan Program, Export Working Capital Program, all of them have links directly to those programs, and they're here on the Economic Alliance website. I'll be updating this site as we get new information that comes in. So I just wanted to share that with you as another resource before I ended, and then just open it up right now for any questions that you may have. And you know, we'll be up front. If we do not have the answer to your question, we will find out an answer and get back to you as soon as we possibly can. So please, when you ask a question, identify yourself again and your what business you have, and then ask your question, and then we'll try to answer. One of us will try to answer as best as we can. Is there any questions? Are people all still muted?
No questions for me, MD.
Okay.
As in merchant management.
Okay. Jen, do you have the password again to the website that you shared?
Yeah, WALOVE, W-A-L-O-V-E.
Okay, and that's all lowercase, or does it matter?
All lowercase altogether.
Okay, sounds good. Is there any other businesses that have any questions?
This is Lana from Pete Peterson Plumbing.
Okay.
We have a question. As far as us as contractors, plumbers, electricians, whatnot, what are things that we can do to stay safe going into people's homes and whatnot?
Cheryl, are you still on the phone?
Yes, I'm here. Just like all the jurisdictions out there, they're currently recommending that if you are going into a home where there is someone who is exhibiting any symptoms, that you not enter the home. Okay. So, I mean, that's kind of baseline right there. Unoccupied houses obviously are not an issue, but all of our local jurisdiction inspectors are not entering any houses with anyone that are exhibiting any symptoms. So that's the only recommendation that we're making at this time.
So are you recommending that they ask before they go there if somebody has symptoms?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Good idea. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lana.
Yeah, obviously, you know, work still needs to get done. And especially if there's an emergency situation where you have a pipe break, it kind of changes things a little bit, but I would absolutely ask if anybody in the house is exhibiting any symptoms, and if they are, figure out some kind of alternative way to help them.
Okay.
Are you at the Home Builders Association? Do you guys at your, I can't talk today. The link that you guys have provided that I posted on our Facebook page or on our website has the OSHA like standards of what it is that you guys are recommending. Is that correct, Cheryl?
I'm taking a look right now. I don't see a link for OSHA on here, but I can definitely add that easily, no problem.
Okay. Is there?
Hey, Cheryl. Cheryl,
Yeah,
this is Kevin
yeah.
with Don Cruz Electric here.
Hi.
Do you know, or do you have any indication of when you might know if the construction, or at least the service part of the construction, which we do HVAC electrical pump work, when that would get an exemption or not? Have they kind of indicated to you either way?
Well, we'll know as soon as and if Governor Inslee sends out that mandatory stay in place order. I can tell you that BIAW is working really hard right now to make sure that you are exempted from that because it is an emergency service and we do need to continue to provide housing for people. And San Francisco did do that. It was included in their wording, so we're trying to use what they used, but it has not been confirmed whether or not it's even going to happen. So hopefully it doesn't, but if it does, they are working hard, but I don't have any idea when or if it'll be confirmed other than when we actually get the statement from Inslee.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wish I could give you more information. We just don't have it yet.
Is there any other questions for everybody or for anybody online? If not, then we'll go ahead and close this. Again, the Economic Alliance, our phone number is 509-826-5107. We will be here in the office to answer any questions that you might have. That we're going to be planning on having this on a weekly basis so that we can continue to provide updates to the business community. If you have any questions, give us a call. Thank you all, and it's 9:27, and we did this on time. So thank you all for joining us. Have a great rest of your day and have a good weekend.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Ronnie. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ronnie. Bye.